2, 3. Alrighty.
Okay.
We're going to go ahead and begin the Tuesday, April 9th, regular Planning Commission meeting for the City of Desert Hot Springs. Calling the meeting to order. Are you now Mr. Recording Secretary?
Yes, sir. I'm ready.
At the task? I'm going to still call you Mr. City Clerk. Go ahead with the roll call.
Commissioner Aliman,
Present.
Commissioner Stover,
Here.
Commissioner Wagstaff,
Present.
Vice Chair Nindell,
Present.
Chair Voss.
Present. Commissioner Wagstaff, will you lead us in the pledge, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Thank you. Has everybody had a chance to look at the agenda? Is there any questions, comments, or anything? Otherwise, we will have an approval of the agenda. I will be recusing myself on item number, I don't know, is it 2B or something like that? But otherwise, I'm gonna,
3?
whatever the cannabis one is.
Yeah, that's 3.
Yeah.
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Okay. Approved. All right. Yep.
Oh.
All right.
Motion passes unanimously.
Perfect. Do we have any public comments?
We do not, sir.
Okay. Then we will go ahead with public hearings. Item number 1, conditional use permit 24-4, application for a smoke and vape shop located at 65935 Pierson Boulevard, Suite B. Staff?
Yes, thank you. The project site is located at 65935 Pierson Boulevard, Suite B, within the Commercial Downtown Zoning District, which is an existing multi-tenant building as shown here. The site is approximately 1,300 square feet and only minor interior improvements are proposed. Here's a site photo of the proposed location taken earlier today. In the Desert Hot Springs zoning code, a smoke shop is classified as a retail sales restricted type of use. And pursuant to section 17.12.020 of the permitted uses commercial district, retail sales restricted is a use that requires a conditional use permit, which is before you today. In accordance with the provisions of CEQA, the project is categorically exempt from environmental review pursuant to section number 15301, class number 1, existing facilities. And with that, this is a consideration for the Planning Commission to approve conditional use permit number 24-4 to establish a new smoke and vape shop within an existing multi-tenant building, subject to the conditions of approval and findings located at 65935 Pierson Boulevard, Unit B. That concludes my report. I'm available if you have any questions, and the applicant is also here. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Do we have any questions from the commission? Yes? Okay.
I have a little question. Is landscaping or updating the landscaping a part of this proposal at this site?
City Clerk, can you pull up the PowerPoint again? So there is no where to put landscape. It's all concrete and asphalt.
I mean, not to be contrary, but there is landscaping at the street, and maybe that's city property and not a part of this property. So I'm just not clear. There's a landscaping median, and it might be at the sidewalk. It's not a part of this property?
I can double check.
Is that a flower bed in front of the unit? I think it is.
Yeah, there is.
Was that a flower bed in front of the unit? Yeah, like a planter box type of thing? That's what I thought. Okay.
Okay, and then my second question, while we're looking into the planter box issue, is in that 1,300 square feet, are they intending or wanting to do like a vape lounge, like we had just passed through in the last meeting?
No, it's just going to be a retail where they sell tobacco products.
Okay, so not consumption,
No.
just sales.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. Any others? Nope. All right, we'll go ahead and open the public hearing. Is the applicant here? You're welcome to come up and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you're planning to do and,
Yeah, my name is
Alright.
George Allowil.
Okay.
I'm a resident of Indio, California.
okay,
We already have other 4 locations. We call the VIP Smoke Shop, and we are well known in the area over there because of a lot of customers from DHS asking me when we're gonna open a location over there, and that's why I'm here right now.
okay. And where are your other locations? All in Indio or kind of the east?
Yeah, I have 2 off Highway 111 in Indio, 1 in Coachella, and 1 in downtown Palm Spring.
So as I'm, sorry, I'm out of turn.
Yep. Okay. Did you have anything else that you wanted to say, or?
I'm ready for any question.
Okay. Let's go ahead. Do we have any public testimony in favor or opposed?
We have none.
Okay. All right. We don't need that. Did we have any questions of the applicant before I close the public hearing and direct our questions to staff?
Sure, I have a question for the applicant. So I'm looking at it on Google Maps, and there is in fact a planter out in front at the street. And I'm wondering if, as a condition of approval, if you would take on replanting that planter.
Oh, yeah, of course. I'll try and make it pretty easy. as
Make it
possible.
pretty.
As
That's
much
what
as
we
possible,
want.
Of course.
Okay, okay. Then I'm ready to motion if,
Well, go ahead.
I just have one question. What are the accessories that your stores will sell?
It's such as tobacco product, nut flavor tobacco product, nut flavor, vape, tobacco used glasses, drinks, sodas, juices, hookahs, something like that.
Okay. Okay. That's all.
Okay. All right, then we'll go ahead and we'll close the public hearing. And now for Planning Commission, do we have any Planning Commission discussion and/or a motion? Okay,
okay. I would move that we approve the conditional use permit number 24-4 for the smoke and vape shop at 65935 Pierson, Suite B, with the condition of refreshing the landscaping at the front according to the MSWD guidelines.
okay, that's the planter, correct?
The planter up front,
Okay,
yeah,
good.
out front, so make it look pretty.
Right,
I will second.
okay, got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, we'll vote. Perfect.
Motion passes unanimously.
All right, congratulations,
so
sir.
much.
Welcome to
Appreciate
Desert
it.
Hot Springs.
Thank you so
Appreciate your
much.
business here.
Thank you so much.
All righty. Item number 2. Development permit number 24-2, an application to develop 286 new single-family homes within Village 3, within the Skyborne residential specific plan. Staff?
Thank you. The project site is located on the north side of Pierson Boulevard, approximately 1 mile east of State Highway 62 within the Skyborne Specific Plan residential development. The applicant, Lennar Homes, has filed an application to develop 286 new residential homes within Village 3 as shown here. The original tract map number 32030-3 was recorded in April of 2007. No proposed changes to the map are part of this review or request. Lennar is proposing to have 2 communities within Village 3. Shown here is Nova, which includes 3 different model plans, all single-story. All models will have an elevation option for a desert hacienda, Mediterranean, and a desert ranch with 9 different color schemes to choose from. Plan 1 is a 1,229 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. Plan 2 is a 1,494 square feet, also 3 bedrooms and 2 baths. And Plan 3 is a 1,692 square feet with 4 bedrooms and 2 baths. All plans will come with a patio area as shown here. The second community will be called Era. Era will provide 4 different model plans, single-story and 2-story. All models will have the same elevation option and color schemes as mentioned in the Nova community. The models have been reviewed by staff and determined that they are consistent with the Skyborne specific plan and the existing homes within the communities. Plan 1 for Era is about 1,792 square feet with 3 bedrooms and 2 baths. Plan 2 is 2,091 square feet with 4 bedrooms and 2 baths. These 2 models are single-story. The remaining 2 floor plans are 2-story. Plan 3 is a 4-bedroom, 3-bath with a study area and approximately 2,419 square feet. Plan 4 is the largest floor plan with 2,590 square feet and offers 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, and a bonus room. The overall landscape plan, which include front yard and interior streets, will utilize drought-tolerant landscaping with 24-inch box trees that include desert willow, California fan palms, and small shrubs with accents and decomposed granite to create a variation of a natural desert. Shown here is the wall and fencing plan. The perimeter walls will consist of a 6-foot tan block. Interior side yards will consist of a 5 to 6 foot vinyl color to match the surroundings. A combo wall of block and tubular steel is proposed for the main entryway and on the west side of the development abutting the channel. The overall project proposes internal recreation amenities that include approximately 10 acres of private neighborhood parks and up to 2 clubhouses with recreational amenities. Village 1 and 2 already have a park and swimming pool for uses by residents. The first clubhouse was constructed within Village 1 and serves the neighborhoods within the developed communities. Village 3 will have a private park to serve that area. Other amenities that serve the development will include a 11.7 acres dedicated to the Palm Springs Unified School District, 5 acres for a future park, and a fire station. A 1.8 acre site located west of Worsley Road is planned for the future RV park and storage area, which totals up almost about 30 acres of land devoted to recreation and public purposes. An environmental impact report was certified for the original specific plan. Pursuant to CEQA 15162A, no subsequent environmental review is required as the applicant does not propose significant features or changes from these analyzed in the previous certified EIR. Staff recommends that the Planning Commission approve development permit number 24-2 to develop 286 new single-family homes in tract map number 32030-3 within the Skyborne residential subdivision specific plan, subject to the conditions of approvals and findings. That concludes my report. I'm available if you have any questions, and the applicant is also here. Thank you.
All righty, thank you. Entertain questions of staff from the commission. If we've got some, now's a good time, or you can during, after the public hearing's closed, during the planning commission discussion. So kind of an either or both.
I have one question, but it might be for the developer more.
Okay.
But more for the developer.
All right. Anybody else? Nothing? Okay, we'll go ahead and we'll open the public hearing, take testimony from the applicant.
My name is Jennifer Johnson. I'm a project manager with Lennar. I started the initial work here in Skyborne with Village 2 a few years ago, so I'm happy to continue our development with Village 3. So thank you for having me here tonight, and I appreciate you taking the time to ask me any questions you may have.
Okay. Let's go over, let's see if we got any public testimony first. Do we have any public testimony?
We do not.
Not. Okay. Okay. Do you have a question?
I have a couple, yeah.
Okay.
You ready?
Yep.
Okay. First of all, thank you for coming out. I appreciate you taking the time.
Of course, thank you.
And I do have a few questions and notes and things, but that's the way I am, as you might learn. But my first question for you is, will these single-family homes all be sold, or is there an intention for some of them to be rental properties down the line?
Lennar's only selling them. We aren't renting these. What the homeowner does once we close escrow with them
Yeah.
is their choice, but no, Lennar will not be renting them.
Okay, good. That's a good answer. I mean, I did notice, I mean, I have some notes on this, and maybe this is for our discussion. But I did notice, like, as I went over and explored the area, and today I went into a couple of the units that were being completed, and to be honest, I was pleasantly surprised. I wanted to be mad at Lennar, but I'm not, okay? So there you are. But I did have some notes as far as like invasive plants, the color schemes, and the biggest one that I came up with, which I'm fine with the color schemes, I decided, it's fine. But where are the kids supposed to play? I mean, as I went around, there really is no active recreation area. There's no soccer fields, there's no bike paths. In the specific plan, it notes specifically that there will be bike paths and walking paths and active recreation. And the only active recreation that I saw were the 2 clubhouses that each have an attached small play area, which probably constitute a total of 3 acres in totality, and a couple of flood basins that had grass on them that I guess were supposed to be a play area, but in reality, it's a catchment basement with grass on it, which is fine. It's a good open area to play in, but there's not any hiking trails on, it's all rocks unless the kid wants to break his leg and find a rattlesnake. There's not a place to play in that area. So I want to know, what is Lennar planning to do to address the components in the specific plan that require about 30 acres of active recreation area and amenities?
Well, I think your question is more directed to the master developer. That would be Skyborne Ventures. Lennar purchased Village 3, which is encompassing just Village 3. So within that, the requirements of what we're required to do would be the park. But rest assured, we didn't render it, but we are planning on installing some play equipment. But we've done some community outreach to the current residents of Village 1 and 2 to find out what type of play equipment they're looking for. Because I believe in Village 2, there's some play equipment next to the pool, which is, I think, geared towards younger children. We heard, I listened, and I'm on the board, the HOA board, so I attend every HOA meeting, and one of the concerns was, well, where's some equipment, play equipment for some of the older kids? Because the little tot, 2 to 5, wasn't really doing it for some of the older children. So we have sent out a survey, the management company for the HOA sent out a survey. We're waiting to get that back, but once we do, we'll determine what best playground amenity would go in that park area.
If I might just add, I used to run a rec center up north, and I hung out with more kids than I care to There's no birth control like raising other people's kids, I'll just tell you that. But kids need to run around, and there's nowhere in this property for them to run. And what I would recommend is a big open field like a soccer field or something that could be used, a multi-use field for football and sports, and as in addition to a little playground for the little guys, because I can see that these are family homes, and we want to be able to have the whole family go and spend the day at the park with the little ones, the mom and the teens, and everybody be able to enjoy the park.
I can respect that, but as you can see with the site plan, there's no area for what you're speaking of. I do believe the master developer dedicated some area on Karen and Promenade for a future city park, which is adjacent to Village 3. I'm not sure what the timing is on that, but also
So,
there was an endowment.
Travis, can you pull up the master plan one, and then maybe explain where, how in this specific plan, how it's going to be, all that stuff that's supposed to go in?
I think we have the plan, the concept plan of that park, the 5-6 acre
Right.
park. So we were able to find that. Actually, go to the next sheet. It's
Well,
got,
I think two things is if we can, put up the whole Skyborne plan where it shows everything, like here, this is that park that's next door to Village 3,
Yeah.
and that's to be a future city park. But I think that, we're dealing with two things, or actually, we got the project, they bought a portion of the project, and they're within that, and they're building homes. But there's the understanding of how this was approved as a whole project, whole specific plan, that's got a whole master plan of amenities and stuff that are built in that unfortunately, however it was agreed upon back in the day when it was approved, is sometimes it's based on economics and based on how quick the houses sell. And so it's, we can't, go in there and force them to build these things when it's intended to be part of the overall master plan. It's already been approved, but it goes incrementally.
Well, we can amend the Skyborne specific plan. In fact, I think that being a 20-year-old document, it may be time to amend that document so that it reflects all of the changes that we've made in the zoning code that benefit our community. It says here in the specific plan, verbatim, page 15, relationship to other plans, any development, regulation, or building requirement not addressed in this specific plan is subject to applicable City of Desert Hot Springs ordinances, codes, and regulations. Now, I don't see in this specific plan that there is specifically laid out these 30 acres for a park. I see the city's building something, and that the school bought an adjacent property, but those aren't part of this specific plan. Those are separate from and adjacent to, but separate from this specific plan. This specific plan, and the city requires for every 1,000 people a 5-acre park. And if you're looking at 280-something houses, that's more than 1,000 people and
So,
0 parks.
If I may, so the overall amenities, parks, clubhouses will come as the villages are built out. So the 30 acres is the overall amenities that will be provided.
But I see 0 in Village 3. I see 0% put towards recreational amenities in Village 3.
there's the park in the center, right as you come into the community.
And that's
Which I think is a drainage ditch.
No, it's behind, the drainage channel is behind the park. And the park is
and
where
the-
the play equipment will go. And this is a recorded final map with plotted homes. There's not really much you can do at this stage to Village 3.
Well, I'd like to recommend a solution, because I think there is something that could be done.
Not on Lennar's end. I respectfully disagree with you. We have a plan, and the plan's been in place, the map's recorded. We have a park, we're offering an amenity. You also have to understand that the residents that will be buying into this community will be annexing into an existing HOA. The dues that they will be encumbering, if you add, say, you want your 30-acre park all at once, to afford to maintain a 30-acre park, those homeowners' dues would probably double or triple. That way, you'll be encumbering HOAs from 120 a month dues to $400 or $500 a month, just to accommodate that park. That's not really realistic. That's why, as villages come online and amenities come online, you're slowly adding and increasing the dues as you increase the population. So it's spread out evenly over a number of homeowners versus that little amount of homeowners. That's why the big rec center is not in yet, because those Village 1 residents and the Village 2 residents can't afford it. So once Village 3 comes online and you get all those 286 homeowners, then they can start looking at bringing in that big rec center, getting that rehabbed and including that, and then they'll have a gym, they'll have another pool, they'll have the facility to rent out. So there's a method to why
Right.
developers do what we do.
Exactly, you're correct. That's exactly how, a specific plan is. Unfortunately, with a specific plan based on economics, we can't control that. We can simply approve it. We see the master plan of how it is, and based on the sales economically of how the economy is, that determines the movement of how things are, and as you said, how it comes with how people pay into that. You gradually pay it for, and a bunch of it is subsidized by the developers, and then it gets kind of weans off into the homeowner as each home gets built and each village gets built out. If this was a Melrose, then you'd be able to do that, but it's not a Melrose project, and so it's a little different with that. You would have all those things put in at the front end, which you guys are familiar with. That's huge in South Orange County and those areas where they do that. So I understand, kind of the intent and purpose, but we've got a project here where Lennar came in and said, I'd like to take 286 of these lots and build a really, what I thought was a really good wide range of homes for people who don't want big homes or big lots, but, maybe they're retired, or maybe it's just one person and they want a modest home, or a family wants a 2-story with the kids upstairs, that kind of thing. From what I saw, I get it, I understand. And even our 2-story, the height, I think it was 27 feet. It's like 3 feet less than our code, if I'm correct. So that was good. And they continue to do that. Mr. City Attorney, you can perhaps let us know what type of a Pandora's box that is if you try to reinvent the specific plan.
Well, excuse me, I'm sorry, I wasn't finished, Dirk.
Well, that's fine, but I asked the city attorney to give some clarification on it. So he's going to give us some.
I think you raised a lot of the limitations are practical reasons.
Right.
These are already plotted, and we've already, there's only so much room to add additional amenities. But to the extent this commission wants to make any changes, it has to be rooted in the findings that we would otherwise need to approve the permit.
Precisely, and that's why I wanted to bring these findings to your attention, if I may, Dirk.
Okay.
Okay. So, as I said, any development regulation or building requirement not addressed in this specific plan is subject to the City of Desert Hot Springs ordinances, codes, and regulations. The specific plan lists amenities as parks, pools, playgrounds, bikes, blah, 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 which have not been included. Street trees are not included as required by Code 16.04.100. Sidewalks are not included as per 16.04.170B, and they need to be included on all lots of subdivisions and 5 feet wide and ADA accessible. Bike paths, according to 16.04.210, are required for anything over 200 units, according to the MAP Act, Section 66475 et sequitur. Reservations, according to 16.04.250, the developer is required to reserve an area of development for parks, according to the State MAP Act, Section 66479 et sequitur. And the standard in the city, which is laid out in our Chapter 17 is 17.20.040, which the standard is related as 5 acres of park for every 1,000 people. And a solution that I would propose to the developer to solve for these problems, or at least make it okay for me, I don't know about my colleagues, but is to provide 2 to 3 acres, move 2 to 3 acres into a soccer field or an active recreation park. That would mean a loss of approximately 15 lots or 5%, which would still leave you with about 270 homes in that, and that would still make it quite profitable. So, and I've got an area here that could easily be taken out between Nesting Circle, East Candle Tree, South Parkway, and Corsair. You could pull out those 15 lots and have a soccer field right there. Problem solved. So does the developer intend to add bike paths as required by state law?
We follow this specific plan. These are private streets. So, and we're following what Village 1 and Village 2 have been doing.
Okay.
I would point out that we do have sidewalks and paths along Pierson Boulevard, Karen Avenue, Skyborne Drive, and both the south and north part of Promenade, which would lead people to the future public park.
Yeah, those are public streets, though, not part of the development.
Those are private streets.
Oh, okay. Karen Avenue is a private street?
No, but Promenade is a private street.
Okay. Okay. Did you have any more that you would like to add, Jennifer?
No, thank you.
All right. Then I'm going to go ahead and close the public hearing. And then now we'll go into Planning Commission discussion and/or a motion. Leroy, you got anything? No?
Question? All right. I'll make a motion to approve development permit number 24-2 to develop 286 new single-family homes in tract number 32030-3 with Skyborne residential subdivision specific plans subject to conditions of approval and findings.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, we'll go ahead and vote. You have anything, Jim? Okay. Did you move? You moved. Did you push the button? Okay.
Motion passes unanimously.
Okay. I will be recusing myself for item number 3. Before I step down, thank you for buying the lots. Thank you for building those variable homes of sizes and degrees of different style. I think they're going to sell rather nice. We always appreciate home building in our town, and we need it.
Yeah, they look good.
Yep, they look really nice. I will step out. It's all yours, buddy.
All right, our next action is a recommendation to the City Council to adopt an ordinance regarding cannabis storefront retail zoning. May we have a staff report, please?
Yes, good evening, Commissioners. The ordinance brought before you is regarding storefront retail ancillary use amendments. So as some background, in February, the City Council approved a staff recommendation to amend zoning and operational requirements for storefront retailers. And this came as a series of recommendations for amendments to overall cannabis regulations. And these amendments are aimed at stabilizing the cannabis industry amid recent hardships felt throughout the state. Currently, our cannabis storefront retailers in the city are permitted to cultivate up to 99 mature flowering plants. So most of our cannabis uses have ancillary uses by right. For cannabis storefront retailers, they are able to do light manufacturing, light distribution, delivery to end user consumers, and cultivation up to 99 mature flowering plants. So while they're currently limited to cultivating those 99 mature flowering plants, all other provisions for cultivators in the city are based on square footage and not plant count. So what the staff is recommending to do is to amend section 17.180.040 of chapter 17.180, marijuana facilities, operations and location of title 17 of the zoning code. And that amendment would allow for our cannabis storefront retailers to cultivate in 500 square feet of space rather than limiting the number of plants to 99 mature flowering plants. So the recommendation is that we recommend that the City Council adopt an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Desert Hot Springs amending Title 17 regarding storefront retail zoning of the Desert Hot Springs Municipal Code. That concludes my presentation, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, do we have any questions of staff from the Planning Commission? Okay.
Is it limited to 500 square feet, the space, or does it matter? I mean, I don't really know how much square feet a plant takes. Like, is it reducing or increasing plants?
Yeah, the amendment is to limit it to 500 square feet overall of their cultivation space.
And there's no number of plants. If they can fit 100,000 plants in that 500 square feet, that's okay?
That's correct.
Okay.
Any other questions? I just have one question. It's kind of general, though, and I see this in all the documents. A maximum number of one unmarked vehicle shall be used to distribute products. Why is that, just one?
The reason is we wanted to make specific distinctions between distribution versus light distribution. And because this is distribution in commercial areas, we wanted to limit the number of vehicles in those commercial areas.
Oh, okay. I thought there was some security issue or.
It has a little bit to do with security. They obviously have to be, secured vehicles, but we wanted to limit the number of vehicles that would be parked at any given storefront retail.
Interesting, okay. All right. Do we, well, we have to open the public hearing. Is there any testimony from anyone? Doesn't look like it, huh?
We have none, sir.
All right. We'll close the public hearing. Do we have any further discussion? Planning Commission? No? Okay. Does anyone want to make a motion? Go ahead.
I move that we go ahead with, we pass no, that's not development permit. Hang on, I'm looking at the wrong thing. That we recommend the City Council to adopt ordinance regarding the cannabis storefront retail zoning.
All right. Anyone seconding?
I'll second.
Very good. May we have a vote?
Motion passes unanimously.
All right, very good. Okay, public comments. Do we have any public comments?
We have none.
All right. Chair and Planning Commission member reports. Do we have any reports? No.
Oh, wait,
Okay.
you know what?
What?
Yeah, I don't think because I wasn't able to make the last meeting because of a family thing. I did go to the League of Cities Planning Commission. I don't have my notes from the commission thing, but I found that that was to be pretty effective. The thing that they had in Long Beach.
Educational.
Yeah, that Leroy and I went to. They talked about, took some of the advanced CEQA stuff, and it was good because it just kind of helped educate us a little bit more about the whole CEQA things and the restrictions and requirements on cities and what have you. And then the new housing requirements and stuff that they've got too. That was real interesting as well. What was even more interesting is listening to some of the commissioners who came up to speak on a couple of the topics, and it was a little scary actually, because they almost thought their job was to vote no from the start and then consider the project. And it was kind of scary because I was like, well, you're supposed to like look at the whole project and see the benefits and then you kind of vote. And they were like, it was, some of the comments were rather interesting. But one of the things they did make a very strong comment on, that the two attorneys that were up there that were talking about, was it's really, really important for commissioners that when an item is coming up for an agenda or is going to be coming up for an agenda, that you be very careful not to, make public comments ahead of time or try to pull the I'm speaking as a citizen type of thing, you know, that, because that can actually force you to be recused. One of the city attorneys there said, you should be recusing yourself if you're out there saying, I'm speaking as a citizen, I don't like this, this, and this. And then if for some reason that project gets voted down, they can say that there was a predetermined vote on this already before you came to the public hearing to hear all the information. And so it's imperative to just, you know, kind of watch, you know, what we say at times with that. And anyways, I thought that was really helpful with that. Some folks there didn't quite understand that, and some lady came up and said, well, I'm an advocate for the city, and so I want to talk about all this. And he says, but you're also a commissioner, and there's a difference between being an advocate versus being a commissioner, and you have to separate those two. And you know, you can be all the advocates you want on all the different issues you want, but if it's an item that's coming up on your agenda or something in the future, that's when you got to put your commissioner hat on, and you got to remember that even if you try to do that, once you go public prior to the public hearing and start to make comments negatively about the project, you're not giving a fair public hearing. And that was really kind of the gist of it. You heard a lot of little grumbling and different stuff. People didn't quite grasp onto that. But it was nice because it wasn't just one, it was two city attorneys that were up there that both reaffirmed this. But I thought it was good. I like going to those because I get a chance to meet. I found out that the city of California City, their planning director is contractual, and they're based in the country of India. And with that, I'm going to shift it over to you now.
I have no plans to go to India anytime soon. I just have one small update, and it's really kind of more of acknowledgement. Many of you are familiar with the Hyundai Hotel on Palm Drive. This hotel is sat vacant and in a state of disrepair for several years. It was finally sold by the court receiver to new owners. I think the day that it closed, the new owners were in there cleaning it up. They are diligently working on removing the debris, both inside and outside the hotel, and are starting plans to renovate it. They'll be doing a walkthrough with our building official on Thursday, who will let them know what they need to do. And as you recall, this is right next to Vista Ventana. I believe it's called the Hudson now, right? Mm-hmm. Which is also being renovated. So two hotels right next to each other being renovated. But I just really wanted to acknowledge Christina Newsom and Tuan Vu, our city attorney, for their work in making this happen. They just bulldogged this thing all the way through to the end, and it finally happened. So it was actually one of my first compliance cases that I was dragged into when I started, and a year later, things are finally moving forward.
So Travis, are they going to take down those weird fake rocks?
Rebuild bedrock.
I think the Fred Flintstone rocks are going.
This reminded me of the Flintstones.
It was the Flintstones. It was cool.
It was interesting.
They used to have the best breakfast in town 25 years ago.
A lot of the interior ones do not meet code, so they have to come down. So that's all I have.
Okay. No other comments by commissioners? Any of staff? No? Going once, going twice? Okay, we will go ahead and adjourn the meeting. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, staff.